How much does it cost to run a house in Australia? G'day guys, my name's Ross and I moved with my family to Australia during a global pandemic. If you're making the move yourself and you're wondering about living costs, or you're just a nosy bugger and you want to see what someone else's life is like, then this video is absolutely for you. Last year we bought a 5-bedroom home on the north side of Brisbane, and we've been able to look at all of our bills across all the different seasons and see on average how much we're spending. Because everyone lives slightly differently, we've broken our costs down into essentials and extras, so from our experience you could figure out how much you would be spending. The first essential, unless you're a millionaire, is probably going to be a mortgage. Last year we paid $590,000 for our home on the north side of Brisbane. After selling our property in the UK, we had around a 37% deposit to put down on this place. Now I'm not going to go too much into the nitty gritty of the mortgage, because depending on what lenders are available for you at the time, these things can ever so slightly change. But for us, we pay just over $1,600 per month, equating to around $19,200 a year. The next essential for us is electricity. And like I said, we've had bills across all of the different seasons throughout the year. In this house, everything's electricity, so that's our only energy usage. Across all of the different seasons, we end up spending around $179 a month on electricity. And this equates to $2,148 a year. Now whilst this might seem like quite a lot, and it is, in our house we've got a pool pump to run, a spa, ooh-la-dee-da, Mr. Fancy Pants, and air conditioning throughout. Recently, we did install a 10 kilowatt solar system onto our roof, but I haven't had too many of the bills back from that yet, so I'm not sure how much that's affecting the cost. When we've had some more bills through, I'll do an updated video to see how much we're saving. Our next essential is water. Now in this house, I do try to keep water usage down, but like I said, every now and again I do need to top up the pool, and I've got a daughter of toddler age who also kind of needs a bath most days. Every month, we end up spending around about $123 on water, and this equates to $1,476 a year. Our next essential is rates, or if you're coming from the UK, it's like council tax. It's basically what we have to pay to the council for all of the services to our home. This bill usually comes quarterly, so annually we pay just under $2,000. And this works out just over $166 per month. Now unless you don't like sleeping at night, you're probably going to want to have home insurance. With a little bit of shopping around, I managed to get a deal where I got a $100 voucher back. But the full bill was just over $842. Taking into account the money back, that cost us around about $61 a month on home insurance. I don't know where I'm going to spend that voucher yet though. I'm probably just going to waste it on tat. Now there are some differences in comparison to UK home insurance that you might need extra for here in the Queensland weather, like absolutely massive hailstones. But until I probably find out the hard way, I ended up going for the most comprehensive cover. Now there are some essential maintenance things that I think we need to keep our house looking pristine. And the first one, considering when we moved in it was green, you're going to need some pool chemicals. Now our pool uses a cartridge filter and we have to add in chlorine because the previous owners decided they didn't like the salination module on their saltwater pool. So in total I reckon we spend around about $20 a month on pool chemicals, or $240 a year. Based upon that number, some of you may be thinking I'm probably not keeping my pool well maintained, but I'm in it quite a lot and my skin hasn't started peeling off yet, so I think I'm okay. We also have to spend a bit of money on gardening stuff. When we first moved in, I didn't realise the importance of weeding or spraying the garden for weeds. I left it for a month and then a jungle grew. So we spend around about $10 a month on different chemicals to keep the garden looking nice, or $120 a year. Again, I could probably spend more on my garden, but how long is a piece of string? The next essential is one that we didn't have to use in the UK, but particularly in this Queensland subtropical weather, you're going to want to inspect for insects, and in particular termites. So our annual fee for a pest spray and a termite inspection is around about $479. Now adding up all of our essentials, this puts our total monthly essential budget to a little bit over $2,200. Or if you're wondering how much of your annual salary is going to take a hit, for us it's a little over $26,404. Now unless you're going to spend most of your time just sitting in your home admiring it, you're probably going to want some extras to entertain yourself. Here I went for a mid-range internet package, and then I was told by Optus, our internet provider, that they couldn't provide that, and we ended up with what I can only describe as the slowest internet package. For that privilege we spend $90 a month, but that does come with the added football patch, so I can watch the Premier League every week. It's still cheaper than what I was paying when I had Sky in the UK, but it's nowhere near as good. Generally speaking, the rest of Australian TV is pretty pants as well, so you're probably going to want some additional subscription services. Our Netflix costs us about $20 a month, and because I've got a daughter that thinks she's a little princess, I also have to pay for Disney Plus. And that costs $12 a month. And then lastly, because I'm pretty disorganized and I have to order things in on delivery, we also have Amazon Prime, and that costs us $7 a month. And lastly, for those of you that are thinking to yourself, I really can't live without British television, well, you can get a VPN and trick the internet to think that you're still in the UK and use some of those services still as well. Now, our VPN was actually free until about 2023 on some kind of deal, but I've been told, and I'll probably cancel it by then, that if I want to keep it, it's around about $3.10 a month. Now, unless you're the quiet, silent type as well, you're probably also going to want a phone so that you can talk to some people. And between my wife and I, our phone contracts are either $25 or $30 a month each. It gives us more calls and internet that we could ever use, so we're pretty happy with that. And if you thought you could sleep lightly by having home insurance, well, what happened if you die? My wife asked me one time while I was trying to sleep. So for me, a mid-30s man in peak physical condition and I don't smoke, life insurance costs between $35 and $40 a month. I could get a fancier one, but at least the house is covered. So our total expenditure on extras every month is around about $224, or annually just over $2,687. That puts our total expenditure for this house at around about $2,425 a month, or a sizable chunk out of my annual salary at just over $29,000. Now, I haven't really ever compared that as a proportion and what we used to spend in the UK, but if you'd like me to make that kind of video, I'll do the number crunching and leave it down in the comments if you want to see it. Before we go though, there are some things that we don't have on this house that you might want to consider. Now, depending on what state you live in or how much you earn, you might want to consider health insurance as well. For us in Queensland, Medicare's pretty good. We've got things like ambulances already covered, so we don't think it's that much of a necessity. We're also under the family $180,000 Medicare levy threshold, so other than saving my life perhaps one day, there's no real incentive to have medical insurance. If you did want to have medical insurance though, I'm told, for our family it would cost around $376 a month, or just over $4,500 a year. Also, considering this is a bigger house than we had in the UK, we don't have a gardener to help keep it maintained, but if we did want to have one, they cost around $50 an hour. Unfortunately, I have a wife that likes cutting grass. It's not like I make her do it, she chooses to. And then lastly, one thing that we don't have, although I am particularly lazy so I'm looking into it, is we don't have a cleaner. Considering that our house now is over twice the size of the one that we had in the UK, and I didn't even like cleaning that very often, I might be looking into a cleaner soon. And they also cost around about $50 an hour. The fact that I'm even talking about spending money on a cleaner probably suggests that I'm feeling like we have more money in Australia than we did in the UK. Despite a bigger house, more running costs, especially with a pool. I hope you found all of that information particularly useful, or if you're one of those nosy buggers that it's filled your curiosity. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like. If you want to have a look at the rest of our life in Australia, make sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you want to see what this house was like when we first moved in, then have a look at that video there. See you soon.